Today's tutorial about Google Sheets is for users who are getting started with this application or anyone looking to advance with key features. We will be concentrated in two areas: why leverage this powerful tool, which is Google Sheets, and how to leverage it. I'm super excited about this tutorial, and you will be so happy to know that a lot of the knowledge that you've learned from Excel, if you have a foundation in Excel, you'll know that a lot of that can be transferred into Google Sheets. So I'll be showing you all that during this presentation. Let's begin. This is about focusing why leverage Google Sheets. So first and foremost, Google Sheets requires no installation. Users can create, edit, explore, format, customize data, and analyze within Google Drive. And just to further explain some of the key features here, like editing. Editing is one of the key features of Google Sheets that it allows collaborations for editing spreadsheets in real time. For example, rather than emailing one document to multiple people, a single document can be opened and edited by multiple users simultaneously. So if you have used Excel online on Office 365, it's very similar to that. And users can see every change made by other collaborators, and all changes are saved automatically to Google servers. And also the Explore feature. The Explore feature is a Google Sheets which was first introduced in September of 2016. And what is so great about it, or powerful about it, is that it uses machine learning to bring additional functionalities. Now, machine learning, this feature provides a lot of information based on the data added to the spreadsheet, and it can auto-update itself depending on the selected data. Another great thing about Google Sheets is that it's very user-friendly. Again, it allows multiple users collaborations at real time. It's very similar to Microsoft Office Excel. It does, however, require that you have a Google account, in this case Gmail. It also requires having internet access. Once you have internet access, it can be accessible from any devices. It's available as a desktop app on your computer, on Google Chromes, and also mobile app from Android, iOS, and BlackBerry. I will also briefly cover how to leverage this tool to manage stock portfolio in real time. Additionally, there's an integration with other Google products such as Form, Finance, Google Translate, Google Docs. If you haven't watched my video about Google Docs, please do watch that video, and I will include the link on this video so that you can watch that video as well. And drawings. Google Sheets also supports multiple spreadsheet and file formats. Now, when you are using Google Sheets, it is so important that you know that you are going to be in a website that your data is going to be navigating through the web in an encrypted mode. And how would you know that? Well, you will know that because when you see a website that has this protocol HTTPS versus HTTP, which you might have seen in other websites. The HTTPS is so important to know because the S stands for secure. So then if you had seen a HTTP, and what does HTTP stands for? It stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, where HTTPS stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure. So when you are in a Google website, your information is actually being transferred in an encrypted mode. So which means that you can have that peace of mind that you are going to be using the spreadsheet. If you are going to be leveraging the spreadsheet, the Google Sheets to manage your stock portfolio or for your projects in a secure URL web address. The HTTP is virtually the protocol that was used in all websites. When the websites added the extension S, it was to give users that peace of mind that you're now navigating the website in a more secure mode. So again, the HTTPS, meaning that if you are going to be transferring or sharing your information through the Google Sheets, you should know that you are going to be navigating, your data is going to be done in a more secure mode. So in another word, HTTPS. So this is really awesome for Google, and I just want to reiterate this because it's important to know about the security features when you are navigating and when you are sharing your data online. Now let's have a practical understanding how to leverage Google Sheets, this very powerful application, which again is available in Expo as long as you have access to internet from multiple devices, as long as you have a Gmail account. I will talk to you soon in this next section of the presentation. For the purpose of this illustration of how to leverage it, it will basically cover everything that I've explained while leveraging Google Sheets. One, we will review the key functionalities of the Google Sheets app. We will create spreadsheets. We will extract the data from Microsoft Excel .XLSX format. If you remember, that was one of the file formats that I spoke about earlier, and copy and paste that into the Google Sheets to recreate some of the analysis done in Excel. We will link multiple sheets through formulas, and we will do some data formatting. And lastly but not least, we will create pivot table and chart as well. To navigate through the apps, you want to hop over to the right where it says Google Apps, and you have to be signed in. So you can see that I'm signed in, and look for the Google Sheets. This is a Google Sheets. Start a new spreadsheet. If you hop over to the template gallery, you can see that there are a lot of great templates available, like the annual budget, the monthly budget, the wedding planner template, team roster, an invoice template, weekly timesheet, expense report, purchase order, the analytics dashboard. If I was to cover all this, it will be in the advanced tutorial that I will be producing in the future. For the purpose of this illustration, we will click on this plus sign which says blank spreadsheet. And here, just to give you an overview about the key functionalities, we will start with the file. So this, under the File tab, if you want to share your file, that's where you would do it, but it's also available here. If you want to open up a brand new spreadsheet, you go to New and then just open up a new spreadsheet. And if you need to import a file from another source, this is where you would do it. If you need to make a copy, download it into an XLSX, PDF format, the zipped file format, etc. You would go to the download and then choose your option accordingly. And you can publish to the web as well, or print it. If you hop over to the Edit tab, if you make a mistake and you want to undo it, it's available here, or redo, it's available there, but those keys are also there as well. It's already part of your ribbon. Cut, copy and paste, paste special, all of that is available here. Delete values, etc. If you hop over to the view, you have, I typically don't like the grid line, so I'll actually go ahead and get rid of that right now. You can protect ranges right from the view. So if you want to protect like a range, that's where you can do it. If you need to insert a row above or below, you would do it on the Insert tab, column to the left or right. If you need to create a chart, that information is also already available here under the ribbon, as you can see. And the drawing the form, etc. If you need to insert a comment, this is where you have the option to do it as well. Insert a web link. It's available here as well, but it's also available just simply by right-clicking. You can see it available right there. If you hop over to the Data tab, this is where you would, for example, once you create a pivot table, which we will cover shortly, you can add a slicer to your pivot table and make it interactive with your chart. The data validation, these are some more advanced features which I will not be covering today. We will look into some basic pivot table, etc. If you need to protect the sheets and ranges, that's also available here. If you haven't watched my video about how to protect the Excel worksheets, please watch it. But you can see that it's also available within the Google Sheets, and it's also available to protect just the ranges of a worksheet. I'm using a Mac right now, so I can't even do that in Excel, but it's available within the Google Sheets. If you hop over to the Tools tab, this is where you would create a form. And script editor, if you want to write or record a macro. Actually, if you want to record a macro, you will do it here. We will not be covering that. That's part of the advanced tutorial video that I will be putting in the future. Notification rules, again, protect the sheet is also available here. This is the adds-on tab. If you need to import some adds-on, this is where you would do it. Lots of great resources. I'll look over some of them just to see which one might be very relevant. You can do the QR code. I saw that earlier. It's right here. So QR code generator. So it depends on what your needs are. There are a lot of excellent information here. I'll go ahead and click X to close out of this. If you need help, this is where you would do it. So there's a training available as well. So we will start to now move into the next section, which is to start creating some worksheet. I've already got rid of the grid lines, so what I will do, I will move here to this brand new clean sheet. I will right click and duplicate the sheet. And I will right click again and duplicate the sheet. For this particular sheet, I will just give it a name of monthly report so that we can bring the data from Excel into here. I will name this sheet revenue and expense summary. And I will just name the sheet something like instructions or guidelines for the theme. So for this particular illustration, all I need is would be 3 worksheets to work with. Now let's start to extract some of the information from Excel and other source to start recreating some of the work previously done in Excel. So I've done some of that work in Excel, but ideally for the T-square is to start to leverage in Google Sheets to work on some of our financials. So the first thing that I will do under the instruction here, I will take the company logo and paste it here. And I will do that simply by hopping over to the most recent sheet. And that's really what I want, is just a screenshot. I will copy that and paste that information here. Once you have copied and your company logo or your theme logo, just make sure that it is formatted to what suit your style and design as well. So for me, this looks pretty good. So I will go ahead and also sort of bring it to the revenue tab as well. And I don't need to do the same for the monthly report because this is a dump of a data tab. But I do want it to make sure that it does show in the under the revenue and expense summary tab. So now we will hop over to the monthly expense and we will bring some of the information that was previously created on an Excel workbook and bring it here and try to recreate that task or that analysis using the Google Sheets. Actually, before we do that, I will go ahead and name the spreadsheet or entire file T-square consolidated financials. Now you can see that the name of the file will reflect all of these sheets as well. To copy some of the information from an Excel file, I will right click on the Excel file on some of the files that I have open. So the one that I'm interested in is this one here, T-square consolidated financial. And I will take the monthly report and copy it right here for the Google Sheet. So this should really be all that I need. So just to make sure that I cover some of the formatting, here you can see this, for example, the revenue category, the 2 words are not completely shown, so I want to make sure that all those words, the two words actually show. So we'll do that by simply selecting the one from the middle, which is this one here, wrap the text. We'll do the same thing for the expense, so we'll go ahead and format to that, and we'll choose that. So now it looks pretty good. So the formatting looks pretty good. And this time I want to copy and paste this information here. All I've done is Command C because I'm using Mac, and then Command Tab will bring me back to the Google sheet, the previous sheet. I'm going to go ahead and just paste that information here. So for this purpose, I will do paste values first. This time I will do format only. And again, just to format so that you show both words, hop over again to that little rectangle facing down, and then you want to select the middle one to make that both words showing, so wrap the text. So in this case, I also need to bring the expense section of the file, but for this purpose I will consolidate these two using the Google Sheets. I will Command C again to copy and paste it if you're using Mac, and I will just paste the special, and in this case I want values only, and I will do the same thing because I want the format. So now I'll do the format. You can expand the column so that all the words show. Because I've now consolidated these two, the revenue and the expense, so it is within the one summary tab, I'm going to go ahead and say type. So this way I can do a pivot table, and I will make sure that the expense and the revenue are separated during the pivot table process. So in this case, what I've done for the formatting, because I want this new column also to be formatted to match the columns that I've already had done in Excel. This is a brand new column. I wanted that to be formatted as well. So I want to make sure that all the formatting is the same, and I needed a blank column, so I needed a column A to be blanked. Now it is important to separate the revenue, so I will go ahead and separate the revenue, and for that I know that this is the revenue. So all the rows that I know for sure are revenue will be called revenue, and you can see that it's revenue because it goes up to here, and consultant for me is one of the revenue categories. So if we go back to the Excel, you can see that the last row of the revenue was consultant, and that's the business unit. And the total revenue, once I link those two sheets, my total revenue I expect it to be 6.4 million or 6.5 million roughly. Now I will go ahead and make sure that the expense is also differentiated, and I will go ahead and just be light for this presentation and just copy it and paste special so that the format does not get compromised or disrupted. So now that I have formatted this entire tab, I would like to copy this format again for the dollar values, and all I'm interested in is really the formatting. So, and for this particular reason, I will call it just the amount, and I'll just say in million. I will, when I'm linking these two spreadsheets, I'll make sure that the dollar amount is in million because this is in whole dollars. Both the revenue and the expense were dumped here as a whole dollar, but I want to consolidate the revenue and the expense tab as for the dollar amount to be in million. To now link these two tabs and bring both the revenue and the expense to this tab, we just need a simple formula. So I'll go ahead and click the equal sign, and I will hop over to the revenue section, which is starts column D, row 4. Give it a parenthesis because sometimes things will just not work right. To convert into million, just divide the dollar by million. Make sure there's 6 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I also will put a dollar sign there and just click enter. You can see that now I've linked those two sheets with just a simple formula. And make sure that you now copy and paste that information until you get to the revenue section. So it is, for this case, it's until row 35, and I will paste in special, and in this case I want formulas only, and I want to make sure that the total revenue is 6.5 or 6.45 million. If you remember, that was the total revenue on the Excel sheet as well, and it's right here, it's also right here converted into million. I will do the same thing for the expense, and I will do it just one step at a time because I want to make sure that everything is accurate. The expenses amount is on column I, same row, row 4. I'll go ahead and select that for the range, and I need the parentheses. I'll go ahead and put a dollar sign there, close your parentheses, and divide that by 1 million. If you need the dollar in thousand, then you can do that divided by 1,000. For this format and for me, I want everything to be in million. And I will go ahead again and only do formulas only. And I want to make sure that the total expense adds to the total amount, which is, you can see the sum on the bottom, 5.55 or 5.6 million roughly. We are a profitable company. If I go back to the expense report, you can see for validation that that number ties. So what so now I know that I'm comfortable with this information, the consolidation and the conversion from the Excel of my T-Square consolidated financials were successfully done using Google Sheets. Fairly easy, and we can move to the next section of this presentation. Now let's start creating some pivot table in some chart. To do that, we will first create a pivot table, and you can just click your mouse within any range within this revenue and expense summary, and then hop over to the data tab and select pivot table. It's going to ask you if you want your pivot table to be within this existing sheet or a new sheet. We want this pivot table for this purpose to be a new sheet. So I'll go ahead and leave that alone and then just say create. I will just bring that sheet here and I will rename it Dashboard Analytics because we will create some visualization with a chart. So once you have your pivot table created, you just need to now add some, you just have to edit it. We'll start to edit the rows. So for the rows, I like to bring the type here, And then we'll go over to, we'll bring another one. So we'll bring the customer as well. So we want to see, we want to chart by client, and also where our expenses are going. And we will also do value. So we will bring the dollar amount that we've done. So I will actually hide that because that's not a real total. So we know that our total expenses, or total expense, is 5.55 million and the total revenue is 6.45 million. And if we go back to our consolidated financial in Excel, we know that the total expense is 5.5 million and then the total revenue is 6.445 million. And I do want to have a blank column to the left, and I would like to also have several, perhaps 18, so I'll bring it 18 so that I can bring the company logo there. Just click on it, and once you see all these dots of square, now copy that and paste it to where you like to see it. I believe that looks good, but I need a couple more rows above to have some space. And I will also add another row there to add some blank space to make it more visually presentable. Now that you have this, we know that we will start to do some chart. So before we do some chart, I want to actually add a slicer. So we'll go ahead and do that, and we'll customize our slicer by type. And then once you do that by type, just make sure that you select which type that you want to draw a chart from. So for this purpose, I want to draw a chart on the revenue. So I'm going to unselect expense and click OK. So now I have just the revenue. We will now start to create some chart using the revenue section. So I've selected the ranges. So it's going to be from the customer row 6 and the dollar amount all the way to row 10. And we'll hop over to the chart where it says insert a chart, and that's exactly what I want, a pie chart. And I want the data representation to be in percentage. But I will go ahead and also fix the title so that it reads better. So that looks good. And I will go ahead and do the same thing for the subtitle. And that looks good because I wanted the square customer revenue percentage of grand total to show here. So we know that the client Y is generating around 58% of our total revenue. And we know that client X is generating around 34% of our total revenue. So I think that looks pretty good. It is all I wanted. So another thing, just to give you like an idea, you can see that the dollar amount is there. So when you start to drill or kind of hop into the background, you can see that the dollar amount is being captured accurately within the chart, as well as within the client Y, 3.72 million, or roughly 58% of the total revenue. So that really has concluded the section of the pivot table and chart, and I will talk to you soon in this next section of this tutorial, which will give you an overview of how to leverage the Google Sheets to produce or track your stock portfolio, whether it's personal or business. And again, it's just really using this robust technology to really amplify the value of our everyday lives. And that is going to be the focus in the next few minutes of this presentation. I'll talk to you soon in just a minute. This section of the presentation will cover how you can leverage the Google Sheets to manage your stock portfolio. Because I have already covered how to name a spreadsheet, I've already done that step here. Additionally, I've covered how to create multiple sheets. So I've already passed through that process. So I've created multiple sheets here. One I've named it Stock Tracker, which lists all of the stock that I would like to start tracking on a daily basis. And I've also already integrated another sheet for the links and resources. If we hop back to the stock tracker, you can see that I have Apple, and the stock price for Apple is currently $139.96. The formula is fairly simple, so you just do =, Google Finance, open parentheses, and then just enter the stock symbol. You need apostrophe and close apostrophe again, and then close the parentheses. And that is the stock price real time for Apple. And also the industry, the market cap, and also I have the historical chart formula, which you can integrate with this formula here. Now, let's say if we wanted to know, like for example, let's just randomly look at Tesla, which the current stock price real time, again, at the last market close of the last open market, which was Friday. It says that the stock price for Tesla is $678.90. And let's say if we wanted to bring the Yahoo Finance, just to kind of have another data validation. So I will go ahead and do that and just open a new Google window, and I will search for Yahoo Finance, and I will tick that, and I want to know about the Tesla stock price, so Tesla Inc. And as you can see here, the stock price for Tesla at the end of the market closed on Friday, which was $678.90. So if you want to integrate this link to your Google stock portfolio, all you would do is copy the link, right click and copy the URL address, and come to any cell that you want to integrate that to. For this case, I will use column D, cell 19, because that's where I have the Yahoo Finance listed, and I will just insert that link. Once you right click, copy, and then just paste it, and there is your link for Yahoo Finance as another source. There are a lot of great websites that you can use to do your analysis for your stock portfolio. So since I already have few integrated into this Excel spreadsheet, I will go ahead and bring those links here as well. So I will go ahead and copy that, and I will go back to the T-Square stock portfolio Google Sheets, and I will just paste it. I can just paste it as it is, and then I will go ahead and just get rid of the yellow color and make it simple. This one here, which is available to give you the interactive chart analysis, and I will go ahead and do that, and that's also live. Just give it a few minutes for everything to load. And as you can see, I already have the Tesla entered because I was looking at Tesla, and you can see that the stock price for Tesla as of July is also precisely $678.90. If you want to see the historical data back in January 2021, you can see that the stock price then was $867.98, or close to $900. So that's how you would track your stock with some interactive analysis, all built in within your Google Sheets. And what is so great about this stock tracker is that this information is updated at real time. As long as you customize it with your ticker symbol for all of the companies that you're tracking. Make sure that you enter the formula and do some more dive to see how you would like to customize it. Perhaps you want to bring the market cap. I'm not interested to do that because all that information is available through these links and resources that I've already integrated. But if you like to have it all available here, you can do that as well. And again, here's the historical chart formula, which I've already entered there, and I'll make that information available on right below this video if you want to just copy it and paste it to your use. And I will also make sure that I provide these formulas, and I'll list it right underneath the video. You can copy and paste it to your likes and use it to your needs. And that is pretty much it. So I'm not gonna go over the chart because I've already covered that during the previous consolidated financial. But you can see if I go back to the Excel file, which I already have some charts here, the way that you want to customize your information, you want to make sure that you draw the chart based on how much you pay for the price for all of your portfolio, what is the predictions for the year, as well as what is the 5-year prediction. Depends on the stocks that you are going to be keeping in the long term. Actually, just to give you an idea about the long-term prediction and how you can have that information for your forecast, let's go back to the Google Sheet. Let's look at Tesla, and this time we will bring in a different link. So this time we will look at the predictions. So the one that I actually typically use for my long-term prediction to do my forecast is this here. It's the Wallet Investor. So once you know your stock symbol, in this case we will look at Tesla, and you just need to know the company symbol. Look at Tesla, for example, and the 5-year forecast for Tesla is around 2200. And if you keep scrolling down, you'll see that there are a lot of information available. It's even giving you the stock price for Tesla. As we continue to look on the weeks ahead through mid of July, we can see that it's looking pretty flat. And if you just keep going, this is actually the prior one. But if you keep scroll down for the forecast for 2021, this is how you would see that the Tesla is forecast to be around $900 by the end of this calendar year 2021. And that's how you would do your forecast for your information for if you want to build a stock tracker portfolio within Google Sheets. That has concluded this presentation. I would appreciate greatly if you can leave a comment on the comment section down below. And please don't forget to subscribe to T-Square for more future contents alike. Thank you.